franchising story and a fascinating story to share with us. I'm not as organized as Damian, so I'm going to read this from my script. But Damian spent 28 years in an executive role within BP. He recently left there and is now the CEO of an engineering company in Denver. And alongside all of this, Damian is a multi-unit franchisee with the Back Nine indoor golf simulator franchise. And, you know, that's multitasking at a whole new level, if you ask me. But very warm welcome to you, Damian. Really looking forward to unpacking your story. Where are you speaking to us from today?
Hello, Simon, and hello, everybody. So I'm speaking to you from the south side of Denver, Colorado. I'm at our Back Nine golf location, Back Nine Inverness, which is part of an area here in the South Denver metro.
Brilliant. And you're sitting in front of one of your bays. How many bays do you have in there?
So we have 4. You can see 2 of them, maybe part of a third there.
Excellent. And is that quite a new outlet? Is that one of the new ones you've just opened?
This one opened in November.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. So how many members do you have now?
This one has 75 members.
Oh, great. Okay. So it's really it's growing quite significantly then.
Yeah, it was a little rough this winter. We had about the nicest winter weather in Denver history that it didn't help drive people indoors, but despite that, we have a lot of people that really value their opportunity to work on their game year round.
Brilliant. Okay, listen, let's unpack this then, because I'm really keen to find out about your journey and your story, because it is very unique. I will say that. So I've got some questions for you. I hope you don't mind. So, I mean, the obvious question for me is, I mean, really, what made you look at franchising as an investment opportunity? Because it's not, you know, you've got a day job. You had a day job at BP. You've got a day job now as a CEO. So what was it about franchising? What drew you to franchising as an investment opportunity?
Well, firstly, being a golf advocate, golf fan, I was looking for something that connected my passions with a business opportunity, and but I didn't want to start from scratch. I wanted to be able to leverage a broader community of both knowledge and data and support, and that's what led me to looking at franchises in the indoor golf space.
Excellent. So specifically the indoor golf space. So there's a lot of investors out there that automatically go to the QSR space, and you don't flip burgers or serve drinks in your Back Nine, do you?
No, I don't. And in fact, one of the things I was looking for was not just a franchise in the golf space, but something that had let's just say a light touch in the amount of employees and labor that it required to be able to manage that balance that you've talked about.
You've got absolutely. And the same, I expect it's the same in the States, but our rising labor costs here are really hammering the margins for those businesses that are heavily reliant on labor. So that makes it an attractive proposition, I would imagine. But so let's talk. Let's talk a bit more about what drew you to the Back Nine model, and how does the Back Nine model make the business more manageable for somebody in your circumstances? You with other commitments. Tell me a bit about that. How the model works for you and fits in with your busy schedule.
So I think the first thing to recognize is the importance of the technology that Back Nine Golf has put in place to enable a light touch or lean, largely unattended business model. The front door, our members unlock that using their phones after booking a tee time on the app on their phones. They come in, they go to their computer, they start it up themselves, they shut it down themselves. So the technology in place is critical, and we operate 24/7. So making sure that that technology is easy to use, that it's understandable by our members is very, very, very important. And then, of course, the other thing is the membership model itself. Our door is locked 24/7. We don't have folks that go up and walk through with and grab a set of golf clubs that's in the corner. And that's what makes it possible. That membership model combined with the technology is a huge factor in the success of our operations.
That's brilliant, brilliant. So I mean, from a practical point of view, then you can manage everything remotely. So if there's a problem with a simulator or something like that, you can dial in and fix any problems. Yeah.
That's right. I can log into any of our computers and restart them, update the software, check to see if there's any issues. If someone leaves on one of our projectors, I can turn it on and off remotely from my phone anywhere in the world. And then, of course, while we do offer tools where people can type in their questions, we're always available by phone if necessary. But I have to say that actually doesn't happen all that often. We do get questions about people's memberships, how to upgrade them, how to book an event space, but otherwise 90% happen remotely or virtually.
Excellent. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So taking that on then logically, I mean, how do you balance the demands of being a CEO of a company and operating multiple back nine locations? Because it isn't just one outlet you've got. You've got what, 3, 4, is it now, and back nines?
We have 2 open, and then we're progressing 2 more right now, and then with the target of a 5th towards the end of 2027. That's right, and that is only possible because I'm able to lean on family to help do. So when we first opened up, I was carrying a large percentage of that myself. As I've stepped into a new role professionally, I've started to lean more on my son and his business background and his ability to support more of the day-to-day. So I retain the financial, the marketing, more the strategic questions and priorities, and he handles a lot of the day-to-day operations and marketing.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So, I mean, was that always the plan when you looked at this, to be a multi-unit owner, or is it just something that's taken shape as you've been in the business?
Yes. So from the beginning, we saw the value of the scale of the brand. Um, we saw the value of Back Nine Golf brand being associated with indoor golf. Um, Now, back then when we signed on, there were 30 locations open. Today, there's 240 plus, with 5 to 30 being open every month. It's the largest brand in the United States. It's growing internationally. And I think the more that people see that brand associated with indoor golf, the better it is for all the franchisees. So we saw the vision that the franchise had for growth, and we wanted to be part of that.
Excellent, excellent, good stuff. And where do you see yourself getting to in terms of number of outlets? Is 5 is going to be the top end for you?
5's enough. We'll do our 5. Ask me that again after we open the 5th.
Yeah. I think you're around about the 500th as well, weren't you? If I read my briefing correctly.
So our 3rd location was the 500th franchise.
Wow, that's incredible. Incredible.
When you look back to the very first Back Nine conference, when they brought all the existing franchisees together, beginning of last year, we all fit in one room, and we all could sit around one very large dinner table. This past May, we had our annual gathering, April, and we had our annual gathering, and it was a very large conference hall. So just the scale and growth, there's just a lot of enthusiasm behind the business model. People really like it, and the franchisees like the way that the franchise has built a community, a supportive community, and a supportive group of people, essentially, to make it possible.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Let's talk a bit about the actual business itself, because what role does the membership model play in creating recurring revenue and long-term business stability? Because at the heart of the Back Nine, it's all built around a membership model, right? It's all built about, you have 3 different levels of membership. You have a recurring revenue stream from an investor's point of view. But so what role does that play in the business, and how you shape the business and develop it?
Yeah, it's central. It's really the most important element. So the fact that our members sign up for a recurring payment, they manage things on their own. They're not only our members. They also become strong advocates and marketers. So 3/4 of our new memberships since we opened were sold to someone who never scheduled a free demo or a public tea time. They came in with someone else, they liked it, and they bought a membership. Our members are actually our best marketing and our best ambassadors. And the definition of that membership, right? So you mentioned 3 levels of membership. We actually only do 2. We do the top 2 tiers of membership, and we only offer the 12-month option, so they can pay monthly or annually. But when our members come in the door, they're planning on being part of our club for the next year.
Yeah.
And that they come in, they take care of the place better. They out. I'll get phone calls from our members asking me if I want them to take the trash out, or I had one member call me location because the toilet was running and he was going to run over to the store to pick up something to fix it. Like, that's the type of member community we have because of the decisions we made around what type of membership options we offer.
Yeah, good. So they feel part of it. It's like a traditional golf club, isn't it? Everybody feels part of the place and they take ownership from it as well. And I imagine they're all members of the local golf clubs anyway. This is just something that they've done in addition to that.
Yeah, several of them are, not all of them. Several of them are, but they do feel like they're members of a club here. There is someplace they want to take care of, and you need to make sure that the types of memberships you offer complement that. Certainly, some of the back locations choose a more high volume type of membership or visitor. Some locations go for a high level of public use time. We've gone in a different direction, but the franchisor advises you and helps you design the type of membership that works for you and the type of
the type of what you just dropped out there at the end.
The type of owner you want to be. So some owners want to be present more often. They want to be here more of the day. And so having people that just show up and walk through the door to book a public tea time works for them.
Yeah.
Other owners, they want to have a more passive participation. They have other things going on. And so they focus the memberships where people come in and book their time as opposed to more frequent or the more impromptu public tea time.
Yeah, sure. And so that blend is really important. And I guess, do you apply the same principles across all of your outlets, or does it depend on the location?
Yeah, we apply it across all of our outlets. We apply a consistent pricing and membership model across them. Although we are learning the differences between different locations and how important that is in terms of how you advertise or originate those memberships. It does differ between the area around your locations, but we do apply the same general pricing and membership model.
Yeah, good. Just while we're talking about, what makes a good location? I mean, how big is the area that you're sitting in at the moment? What size is that?
So we're on the south side of the area called the Denver Center. It's high concentration of businesses, large, medium, and small, which means we tend to get a lot of folks that come straight from work with 1 or 2 friends. Our other location is more residential, and we tend to get more members there that come from home. They go from work home, they pick up their clubs, and they come in, and typically by themselves. And so that presents challenges in terms of how we market, how we originate. Both work. The other location, much higher foot traffic in front of the front door. Here we actually have quite low foot traffic, but a lot of origination from businesses where they drive over it. So you just need to understand the differences of one versus the other and what that means in terms of your marketing.
Yeah, good. No, that's really interesting. I mean, a lot of this tells me that you must get a tremendous amount of support from the back nine as the franchisor. I mean, what does that support look like, and what's been most valuable to you as you've grown?
I can't say enough about 2 things. One is how much support we've received from the franchisor. The people there care deeply about your success. They are also franchise owners, so they understand when you ask questions, they understand where you're coming from. And they're just hugely supportive and collaborative. Further to that, the franchisee community is invaluable. So I'll jump on Slack, on a tool called Slack. I'll post a question, and before you know it, I'll have 5, 7, 10 suggestions or best practices from other franchisees. And it is very much a supportive, one for all for one. We all want to be successful and help each other out. And
Yeah.
those have made a huge difference.
Yeah, good. So are there other franchisees like yourself then that have other things that they do? Or I guess it must be a blend between different types of owner operators, multi-unit franchisees, investors.
Yeah, Simon, that's exactly right. We have uh, all kinds and all types. Crazy people like me that have another job on the side and are doing this as well. And then some folks, maybe they're a golf pro, and so they want a facility where they can offer lessons. Or sometimes you have people that this is their retirement focus. They've moved on from something else, and this is their focus. We have some franchisees that own multiple different types of franchises, and this is
Yeah.
one of their. But yeah, we have all types.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that for me was what I was thinking about here in the UK market, because we're seeing a lot more multi-unit, multi-brand franchisees, a lot of them in the QSR space, and it's logical to look for something maybe that operates at a higher margin level, that can provide a good blend across the whole of the portfolio. So yeah, it's rising, very much rising in popularity. For sure, for sure.
And let's not
Sorry.
undersell. Let's not know the value of a low labor related issues model.
Yeah,
These days it's not just the cost of what you're paying for, but managing the day to day, the turnover, etc. It can consume a lot of time.
yeah. I got that. I got that. So, I mean, I want to go back and when you talked about going into franchising, your motivation for that. What was that, to support your retirement? Was that the ultimate goal? And then alongside that, what were from an investor's point of view? Because obviously, you're a smart guy. You've been, you worked in corporate with BP. What were you looking for from an investment point of view? Were there any things that really stood out with the back nine and this type of operation?
Investment certainly with a strong return. An investment with a semi-passive participation, because I knew I was going to continue to do something else. It wasn't going to be my entirety of my retirement. It doesn't hurt that I would, really like having a place I can work on my game. So selfishly, that worked out pretty nicely, and I've seen the benefit of that in my golf handicap.
Yeah,
And then I will say, as I started to talk to different options, the people I spoke with Back Nine made a big difference. Their
yeah.
genuine commitment to your support and to be part of that journey with you made a big difference as well.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, that's really important. And you've got to get to, like-minded individuals. The guys that founded the business, they're all passionate about golf, but they're all passionate about business as well. And you've got to resonate with that if it's going to be a viable opportunity. We've got some people that are going to be watching this, and that are interested in the back nine, and you've probably covered this already, but for those professionals or business owners that are looking for scalable investment, what do you think will make the back nine model attractive for them?
Well, one thing that I found very helpful is repeat, right? Once you find that ownership model that works for you, replicating it is, I'm not going to call it easy, but it's easier than many other models. So the same general contractor, the same furniture, the same general design, the same learnings, we've been able to replicate and will continue to do so. That makes it a lot easier while you're trying to manage a broader portfolio and maybe a career on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, good stuff. And just touching on the multi-unit ownership here, what did you learn from opening your first back nine that helped you move into multi-unit ownership? Because it must have been a lot easier opening the second, the third, and the fourth one than it was opening the first.
I think so. Finding the locations has been a challenge here. So vacancy rates in Denver are under 3% for retail space. So finding the sites that met the physical dimension requirements, that were in the types of areas with proximity to golfers and golf courses. It's a short list. Nonetheless, we have learned that understanding how the location will be used is really important. So
Yeah.
I don't want to drive more than 10 minutes at a golf ball, no matter how important it is to work on their game. Whether they're coming straight from work with a friend or a client versus coming from home with a family member influences the marketing. So it's important to understand that.
Yeah, good. So how do you approach a new market then? Tell us some of the research that you do when you're scoping out a new location. Does it all start with the location, or do you do the market research and the heat mapping around a certain area before you identify? Tell us a bit more about that.
So candidly, we don't have a long list of options for locations for the reasons I just outlined. So it was more about making sure we stayed selective despite the limited options. We don't want to just pick anywhere because it's available. But once you look at the locations, understanding the golfers in the area, understanding their ability to access your location. And these are things that Back Nine Golf was very helpful with. They can give us an idea of the number of golfers in a certain area. They can give us an idea of the income for those golfers, the number of those golfers that are members of a private club, and really focus on their game. Because at the end of the day, our members tend to be serious about their game and want to improve their. They want to be better outdoor golfers. They want to place indoor to become better outdoor golfers. And so understanding that's really important. And Back Nine was a big part of that.
Yeah, good. And one of the things that I've understood, I mean, obviously it's a membership-based model. So obviously the pre-sale process, I mean, does that happen while you're building out a location? So when the construction's taking place, you're doing the marketing in the local area to get those those memberships up before you open?
So it's a delicate balance, right? You want to create awareness, but you don't want to begin gaining financial commitment until you have a clear timeline for when you're going to open.
Yeah.
Right. So managing committing to marketing balance is really important.
Yeah, that's really important, isn't it? Because if you keep having to put back, you lose the confidence there. So you've got to have a good. So I guess it's a well-oiled machine for you now in terms of your construction companies that you use and the people you use. And you're laughing, so that's obviously not the case.
Well, I benefit from a lot of really good experts in other fields that help me complement where I might lack the expertise and maybe not have the answers, but at least ask the right questions.
Yeah, good stuff. Listen, Damian, I know your time is very valuable, and I really appreciate that. So I just want to draw this really to a conclusion, I guess. And there's a couple of things I want to find out. But what would you tell them? Anybody looking at this, both now and obviously when they're looking back on the on our show, who's interested but still weighing up the opportunity? What would you tell them to consider before becoming a Back Nine franchisee?
So first, the indoor golf space is growing fast. There's no shortage of golfers interested in improving their game. So you're in any given area, you're targeting about 1 to 2% of the golfers in the area. That's it, not 10, 20, 30% of them. That's all you need to be successful. Secondly, you have a franchise that's growing faster than any other. So the strength of the brand, huge. Our members are not just the 24/7 access, but they appreciate the fact that they can go to many other locations, walk in the door to Back Nine where they book a tee time and play there and practice their game, whether it's on their own with a friend or maybe from a business development perspective, from a corporate membership angle. And then I think the last thing I would just point out is it's a lot of fun, right? Like playing golf, being able to come in here and seeing your members improve their game and them lighting up because they can tell you about how their distances are improving or because their game is improving, or how they just went out and won the championship at their local golf club. That just feels great. And it's great to be a part of.
Yeah. So there's a big community part of this as well, isn't there? I guess your members will interact with each other. They can share their successes and failures and challenges as well. That has to be a big part of the offering too.
Yeah. Over here, we got our board of pictures of people who got their hole-in-ones in here and they wanted to share those. We have folks that about how they've improved their game and improved their handicap by 4, 5, 6 strokes, and they attribute it to their being able to practice here. So yeah, it is a community.
That's all good, isn't it? And the technology is awesome as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's full swing, and that's top grade. It's what the pros use.
That's right.
Was that part of the attraction as well, because you knew about full swing and being a golfer?
Well, I think the key thing was, if you want to be a better golfer, if you appreciate the role that data and understanding where you could improve, and then having the data to show you what to focus on and what not to focus on, you really get the full swing model, right? They create quality equipment, and then they support that on an ongoing basis to make sure that you have timely support if you need it. And they're constantly updating it. Like when you're owned by professional golfers, like I guess it was when I first signed on, the owners make sure you have quality equipment, because that's what they have in their houses, and that's what they. So that made a big difference for us.
Yeah, good, excellent. And finally, Damian, before I let you go, just share some of your exciting plans for the future.
So in the back nine golf space, we're working to get our 3rd and 4th locations open over the next 12 months, and then we'll come back and look at the 5th. We are excited to be part of the back nine golf tournament that rolls on in August. National tournament. That's pretty cool. Members compete across our country. Full Swing's rolling out some new tech that's going to help our members improve even more effectively. So we're excited to see that. We're going to have events here in September for our members. Thank them during the President's Cup. You could probably guess who I'll be rooting for. So maybe Simon, we can remember how that went. And then we'll just see as we get towards the end of the year and as we approach fall and winter, whether we can hit that 100-member mark that we're targeting here, but before the end of the year.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. It really is an inspiring story, and we've some real food for thought. And I think it sounds like you got everything nailed down really well there, which is fantastic. You're a lot more organized than I am. But Damian, thank you so much indeed for your time. If anybody wants to reach out to you afterwards, I'm sure you'll be available to answer any questions. But
sure thing, Simon.
Thank you very much indeed, and to your continued success. All the best. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.